This is going to be a brief overview on Sushi, a production utility intended for linear production. The main screen has these 9 buttons. It can be configured as a background to work behind here. Uh, it'll also work in this way, exactly the same way. I'm going to keep it here for simplicity. First thing that you use is your builder module, where you navigate to a text file, import it, and process it in order to convert it into a database that the program will use from now on. This also serves to add scenes. When you have to add scenes, you add them at the end, so not to disturb what has been built already. And you use this same utility to correct any problem that you detect on the use of the resulting database. There's a preferences panel that lets you say what utilities are used for graphic and for word processing. You could use Word and Photoshop, and as long as you navigate and point the program to the proper binaries, they will be called when the time arises for them. Nigiri is like a big scoop. It'll let you read a program, a script, and that has been processed as a database, and you will be able to do with these tools. You'll be able to do general operations on the project, and with these other tools, you'll be able to see different aspects of the script and create and add different kinds of information to the database in 3 modes. Basically, the first mode is the breakdown mode, where you analyze line for resources, line by line. You find what worked, and then you make it work. You select, for instance, that round translucent stone could be added as a prop, and you would say here as a prop. So now if we were to look in the breakdown, we will find in the props that round translucent stone, and we'll process the whole script that way. In storyboard mode, what we will do is the same lines will be now repositories for graphic information that you can paint or read, and it'll be kept together with that line. And in shooting script mode, the same line with any screen storyboards that you have already collected, which will appear here. You will get all the technical information for the shoot, and that will be collected too. There are utilities to get your cast and your locations, and there's a lot of nice ways to massage this information in order to get all the data that you need to create your play. This is a scene. We're moving through scenes, and we can see on the column of the left what actors are part of each scene. And here we move through the actors, and we can see in which scenes they are present. An output module lets you send all that information collected out as different kinds of reports. Once a report is made, you can re-access it, and the program will, it's designed to find the information easily and compile it so that it's useful for the production crew. Sashimi is a scheduler of sorts. It's a little bit more. It's a scheduler and a shoot utility. It lets you read in a script that has been converted into a database, and It'll code it in colors using the film code of, you know, exteriors are always green or yellow, depending night or day, and the interiors are blue or white, depending of night or day. Um, there's a couple other colors that we use. For instance, that open sky line at the end that the program couldn't determine, that happened because it doesn't have a light. It just says later, which is no kind of light. So all we would do to correct it is in the edit mode, we would click on light so that it comes up here. Double click on the line that has not been properly classified and say what light do we need. So we'll say this is sunset for the end of the play. And now what we see is that the color for sunset has been added at this line. The same way, once we have everything, all this information in these areas filled in, that will happen. All that comes from Nigiri. What we would do is simply go into short mode for the film, and every scene now becomes its text. So if we have this scenes of the sport car, we double click on it and we can see the contents of that already classified. All we have to worry about is these lines which are white. Those are the lines that take time on screen. The gray lines, or yellowish in this case, simply tell us the guide. The script is being revealed to us between the lines that work and the lines that don't take any time. And we have a lot of categories here that would be filled by the utility in the shooting script mode. We could see the storyboards if there were any, and if we are shooting with computer assets, for instance, we would choose a line and call the assets on it. It'll tell us in green the name of the shot, in yellow the motion capture files or motion files required for the body, and the same for the face. And this system here lets you input the information down there. Any line that we have worked in, we simply check, and we know that has been that check is where we are in this session. Supposedly we're going to finish the session. If not, we'll have to remember at what line we left it, because the system won't yet remember where it left off. But uh, you could have, if you are using this program with a real crew, as for a film instead of a computer piece, you can load the crew and plan for breakfast, meals, and so forth. And you can generate if you have made days ends, otherwise you'll get like the whole script in one pass. You can make a day call, and that will let you call the cast and the characters and your crew, and every facility that you are going to need will be there, and you can send that every day as an email, the way it happens usually. If you need extras, if you're working in live action, this utility lets you use the right part to create a list that is stored on the left, and you can manage that list in a format that the program recognizes. When you're done shooting every day, this is the utility that the production crew, or rather the production manager, will use to make reports on the days, the times, the locations, how did everything go, including if you need extras or not including them if you don't need. That creates a report that can be viewed later without recompiling. Repath lets you do a simple thing. Every time you move a database within your computer or you share it with someone else, say with your production crew, the person who receives the database will save it in disk somewhere, and now it has to replace the information in the unitary file that keeps the address that is crucial for the whole program to find, that sushi.nm pointer file. So all you have to do is navigate to that pointer file wherever it is now, select it, and when you read it, three things will happen. First, the path will be determined to that thing. That's the proper content. The contents that were there will be exposed and will be replaced by a line done in the same format that contains the actual path to the database. And that's all. It's been done when you found it, it resaved, and the database is ready to read and use. And the last utility of them all is a simple time calculator that lets you input number of minutes, hours and seconds, and add them with another quantity of the same. You can use it also to subtract, say minus 3 hours, 2 and 2. They'll give you that 1 hour, 0 hours, 5 minutes and 6 seconds. So it's pretty easy to use. You can save or retrieve the lists. If you make a list that you need to keep around, you just read it, and it will be calculated with the same procedure as the rest. You can eliminate members in that list, and the sum will have obviously a different result. And that's it. That's the whole system in a nutshell.